I should have trusted my instincts the moment I stepped inside. It wasn't anything obvious at first, no broken furniture, no strange noises, nothing you could point at and say that's wrong. But there was something in the air, something stale, like the house had been holding its breath for too long. And maybe it was waiting for someone like me. It started with a cancelled bus. I was traveling alone, heading back to the city after visiting a friend in a rural town I barely knew. The last bus of the night broke down halfway through the route, leaving about a dozen of us stranded on a dark roadside, surrounded by nothing but trees and scattered houses. No taxis, no signal, no options. That's when he approached me, a man in his late 40s, maybe early 50s. Average height, thin build, wearing a brown jacket that looked older than me. His face was calm, too calm, and his voice soft, almost rehearsed. "You can stay at my place tonight," he said. "It's just down the road." I hesitated, but everyone else had already started making their own arrangements, some walking off together, others calling relatives once they found signal. I was alone, and it was getting cold. "I have a spare room," he added quickly. "You'll be safe." Safe. That word should have reassured me. Instead, it made my stomach tighten. The walk to his house took about 10 minutes. No streetlights, just the faint glow of the moon breaking through clouds and the crunch of gravel under our feet. I tried to make small talk, but his answers were short, controlled. "What's your name?" I asked. "Ramesh," he replied. "And you live alone?" A pause. Yes, something about that pause lingered longer than it should have. His house stood at the far end of a narrow dirt path, partially hidden behind overgrown bushes. It wasn't abandoned, but it didn't feel lived in either. No lights on, no sounds, no signs of life. He unlocked the door and gestured for me to go in first. That's when the smell hit me. Not rotten, not exactly, just damp, heavy like wet wood and something older underneath. "Power's been unreliable," he said, flicking a switch. A dim yellow bulb flickered to life. The living room was simple old sofa, wooden table, a shelf with a few dusty books. Everything looked untouched, too untouched. "Make yourself comfortable," he said. "I'll get you some water." I nodded, placing my bag near the sofa. And that's when I noticed it, a second glass already sitting on the table half full. He came back with a bottle and poured water into another glass. He glanced at the one already there. "Oh, someone else here?" I asked casually. He froze, just for a second, then smiled. "No, I forgot to clean up earlier. Forgot. But the water in the glass, it looked fresh, no dust, no particles. No signs it had been sitting there long." I didn't say anything, but something shifted inside me. He showed me to the spare room. The hallway leading to it was narrow, with 3 doors. 2 were closed, one slightly open. As we passed, I glanced inside. Darkness, but I could have sworn I heard something, a soft sound like breathing. I stopped. "Did you hear that?" Ramesh turned slowly. "Hear what?" I listened again. Silence. "Nothing," I said quickly. He stared at me for a moment, then smiled again, that same calm, practiced smile. The spare room was small but clean, a bed, a chair, a single window with curtains drawn tight. "You can lock the door from inside," he said. "Just in case, just in case." I nodded. Good night," he closed the door behind him, and I locked it immediately. At first everything was quiet, too quiet. No insects, no wind, no distant traffic, just silence pressing against my ears. I lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to convince myself I was overthinking. But then, a creak from the hallway, slow, deliberate footsteps. I sat up. They moved past my door, then stopped, right outside. I held my breath. Seconds passed. Then minutes, no knock, no movement, just presence. Like someone standing there listening. I couldn't take it anymore. I got up slowly and pressed my ear against the door. Nothing. I unlocked it carefully and opened it just a crack. The hallway was empty, but one of the doors, the one that had been slightly open earlier, was now fully closed. I stepped out. I don't know why. Curiosity, fear, maybe both. The floor creaked under my feet as I moved toward that door. My heart was pounding so loud I was sure it would give me away. I reached for the handle. It was cold, too cold. I hesitated, then slowly turned it. The door opened with a soft click inside darkness, but not empty. I could feel it. That same heavy air, stronger now. And then a sound, a whisper, right next to my ear. "You shouldn't be here." I froze. My entire body went numb. That voice. It wasn't Ramesh. I stumbled back, slamming the door shut. Me breathing was out of control now. I turned, and Ramesh was standing at the end of the hallway, watching me, no expression, no smile, just staring. "You opened that door," he said quietly. It wasn't a question. I couldn't speak. He took a step forward, then another. "You weren't supposed to do that." And that's when I noticed something behind him. In the dim light, another figure, standing just inside the living room, still watching, not moving, not blinking. I backed away slowly, my mind racing. Who is that?" I whispered. Ramesh didn't turn, didn't react. "It's late," he said. "You should go back to your room." But the figure behind him, it tilted its head and took a step closer. That's when I realized I wasn't alone in that house. And whatever else was there had been waiting long before I arrived. I ran back into my room and locked the door, my hands shaking so badly I could barely turn the key. The footsteps started again, this time faster, closer, stopping right outside my door. Then a knock, slow, heavy, deliberate, and a voice, not Ramesh's, not human. "Let us in."